Well, folks, the debate regarding climate change will continue to rage on for the years and decades ahead, but consider the curious case of my guest, Alex Epstein. Alex has written a few books on fossil fuels. In 2014, he penned The Moral Case for Fossil Fuels, and he has an upcoming book called Fossil Future. But check this out. It looks as though the Washington Post is perhaps going to publish a hit piece on Alex, not based on flawed data or anything like that, but based on the fact that my guest is a racist? Unbelievable. And joining me now from south of the border is Alex Epstein himself. Hi, how you doing there, my friend?
That's funny to call it south of the border. I was thinking, wait, I'm not from Mexico, but of course. I'm doing great, considering I woke up on Monday hearing that one of the most powerful newspapers in the world was going to falsely portray me as racist to destroy my career in my book.
You know, Alex, I see this as an ad hominem attack. I have come across nothing in my research that suggests that you are remotely racist. Why is the Washington Post going down this road instead of challenging you on your facts in terms of why you love fossil fuels? You're even wearing the T-shirt right now, I see. Why are they doing a personal attack and smearing you?
Let me just make sure everyone is familiar with the facts. So my publicist sent them a copy of this book, Fossil Future. So that's an upcoming book. They sent it to one of their leading climate journalists. So it's a book about energy and climate. It makes sense to send it to that journalist. That journalist responded by saying, hey, thanks for the book. We're going to run this piece. Would you like to comment? And so the piece was just a hit piece beyond compare. So what they did is they looked through all of everything I've ever written to find the most controversial thing in their eyes, which they decided was some stuff I wrote when I was 18 or 19, which was incredibly individualist and explicitly non-racist. But they distorted it as racist. They ignored many explicit statements by me about the evil of racism, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just a complete hit job. And then they use that to say, because he's racist, then he doesn't really care about things like poor people in Africa getting fossil fuels, and therefore we don't have to listen to his argument. So they were discrediting me through this totally false racism allegation that was based on this total distortion of 23-year-old documents. So of course I know this is a hit piece. So when they're asking me for a comment, they are asking me to participate in my own destruction. And I refused to do that. I told them I will comment, but the comment I chose to make was public. And so what I did was I preemptively refuted and condemned the intended piece. And we have a very clear outline of the piece. It has quotes. It has certain academics saying that I am racist based on a distortion of these documents. It is very clearly a hit piece. I had definitive evidence they were going to do a hit piece. And therefore, I did the right thing again, which was to preemptively refute and condemn the piece. Now, what happened is I got an overwhelming amount of support because I was obviously right. It got mentioned on the Joe Rogan Experience. The original post got seen over 2 million times. I had this hour-long video that anyone who watches finds persuasive. And so what's happened is the Washington Post was supposed to publish the piece over 2 days ago. It still hasn't happened. We don't know whether it will. The only thing that they've done in response is, get this, they have condemned me for online bullying of the journalist who tried to destroy my life. So me defending myself preemptively, they say you shouldn't have done that. You should have just let the hit piece to destroy your life have run, and then you can comment. So and not just the Washington Post managing editor said this, something called PEN just said this, some journalism organization, and a dozen other journalists who are like friends of the journalist who did this hit piece on me, they stood up, they all called my attacks baseless. I made a 1-hour complete expose with proof and primary source documents. So journalism, in the mainstream journalism, as far as I'm concerned, is dead. And unless the Washington Post at this point needs to fire their executive editor, unless they clean house, they are worthless as a journalistic institution.
That's an excerpt from my daily show, The Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.